If you guys are regular followers of my channel, previously I have repeatedly promised that I will do a second video on the Ukraine land grab that is going on in Ukraine, southern Ukraine right now. Okay, so today I am finally going to cover it. I have found a lot of information. So welcome back to the Batman podcast. Hey guys, before I start the video, I just want to tell you guys that this video started a little bit slow, but just hang on, okay, because it's going to get really interesting around the middle section of the video, okay. It started a little bit slow because I have to show all the evidence articles and so on, okay, but I promise you it's going to get very interesting towards the end, and you gotta see this, spread the information as much as possible, okay. Okay, let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back. So, I have been predicting about this Ukraine land grab for a couple of months already. Okay, actually, I've been predicting it for years. Actually, I have just recently started this YouTube channel. Okay, but I have been raising the alarm on social media and so on. But unfortunately, this is just a fringe belief. Okay, not many people believe in it. In fact, many people has ridiculed me. They think I'm crazy. They think I need to take my medication, whatever. Okay, but I'm going to try my best to convince people that this is happening. Okay, and I'm going to show it on this video. Okay, so where should we start? I think I can first share the video of, there is this video where there is a large group of Israelis men or Jewish men, okay, who is traveling to southern Ukraine. The city is called Uman, and it's kind of strange because right now, as everybody knows, Ukraine is in the middle of a war, right? So, but they said it's because of religious, what do we call, ritual, something like that. It's just an annual event, they would go there and to pray or something like that. So it's something to do with religion, but it's kind of weird why there are so many people that is coming there at this time when there is a war. But anyway, I'm going to play it first, okay. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is, why are there so many men who is dragging their bag in the middle of a railroad, right? I mean, like, my common sense is that if you want to travel to a different country, you probably take what we call a plane, right? You probably take a plane and then you take a Grab, an Uber, or I don't know, taxi or something like that to go to your hotel room, right? But why are they dragging their bag on this railroad? It looks to me like they are actually moving. Looking like, to me, it looks like they are going to settle there. I mean, like, maybe I could be wrong. Okay, maybe it's just they're just there for a visit, yearly visit for this. I don't know what do we call event or something like that. It's just a religious obligation. They have to do it every year. I'm not aware of the city. I've never been to the city. I am not aware of how the geography is, the city. I mean, like, the details and so on. Maybe somebody who lives there can explain to me why it's not weird, why it's maybe common. Okay, so anyway, we're going to move to the next point. So I'm going to show you guys another clip of Colonel Douglas McGregor, in which he was doing an interview with Judge Napolitano. Okay, he was saying about there is a large presence of Jewish settlements in southern Ukraine right now. Okay, so I'm going to play the video and I will provide my commentary later. Okay.
Isn't there an argument to be made that the end result is now certain? Why should another fill in the blank? You can tell me better than I can give you. Thousands Ukrainian young men die before the inevitable happens.
I think that's ongoing. Although, we've seen that 13,000 Ukrainian men between the ages of 18 and 25, just a little over a week ago, were suddenly released and allowed to cross the border from Ukraine into Poland, which was a rather strange development. But now we're also seeing settlements in southern Ukraine emerge, places where the population has been either denuded or is very, very thin. And we're seeing large numbers of Jews establish themselves in new communities. In fact, we have something on the internet that talks about the appearance of police around a community in southern Ukraine wearing American-like police uniforms, who are stopping anyone from going into the area who is not Jewish. And the people that wanted to go in there were Americans, but obviously they were Christians. They were halted, turned around, and sent away. We've always been hearing about this desire to create another greater Israel in parts of Ukraine, where at one point you had large numbers of Jews before the Second World War that were concentrated in places like Ukraine and part of Poland and southern Belarusia. This is very odd. Is this part of the larger plan that's bankrolled by people like Larry Fink and others to create this? Is this an extension of Israel as it is today? I have no idea. But needless to say, I thought it was very odd to find a police force that looked like they were the New Jersey State Police, and insisting that if you weren't a Jew, you couldn't go into the area. I thought that was very odd. I don't know what's going on, but clearly the numbers of Ukrainian men are at an all-time low.
Interesting, isn't it? Because Colonel Douglas McGregor was saying that recently the Ukrainian government allowed 13,000 Ukrainian men between the age of 18 to 25 to cross the border to Poland. Because what that reflects to me is, I mean, like, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, like, why would you, all this while, you have been blocking Ukrainian men from leaving the country, right? In fact, there are video footages of men being forced into military when they don't want to join the military to begin with. Okay, they were forced into military, taken from the streets. Okay, so why is it suddenly, all of a sudden, 13,000 Ukrainian men between the age of 18 to 25, the younger men, are being allowed to leave the country at such a crucial time anyway? And then at the same time, he was saying stuff about the, now I cannot verify this because I cannot find any video at all, but Colonel Douglas McGregor was saying that he saw footages from the internet where there was a large Jewish communities in southern Ukraine, okay, and there was presence of American-like outfit or costume police officer who refused any entry to non-Jewish people. Do you see where I'm going with this? What I feel like Colonel Douglas McGregor is trying to suggest here is that while this migration from Jewish migration to southern Ukraine is happening, they're also allowing Ukrainian men to leave all of a sudden. You see where I'm going? You know what? Because the first thing you want to do, if you want to do a land grab, the first thing you want to do is to get rid of the man, because once you get rid of the man, there is no one left to fight back. Women are, I know I'm gonna be attacked by some feminists probably, but women are not as strong as men. Okay, they cannot defend, they cannot go to war like men do. Okay, it's just a fact. Okay, a man is always going to be stronger than women. Okay, so if you want to get rid of an empire, the first thing you would do is to get rid of the man. Could it be that is what is happening right now? Okay, now for my next point, I'm going to play you a video or video clip of this guy called Igor Berkut. Okay, and he has been predicting this since 2014, by the way. He was the reason why I found out about it. Okay, by accident I counted this video. This was probably like 7 to 8 years ago. I was still in my 20s. I encountered this video, and this is when I started to do research about this Ukrainian project. Okay, New Jerusalem project, sorry. But anyway, I'm going to play the video and I will provide my commentary later. Okay.
Давайте все-таки вернемся к Украине. И здесь крайне любопытно, почему именно эта территория была выбрана еврейским народом для нового Иерусалима.
Но прежде всего так сложилось исторически. Как вы помните, именно на этой территории 400 лет существовал Великий Хазарский Каганат. И 400 лет на этих землях существовало иудейское государство. Кроме того, существует историческая преемственность, связь времен. Как вы знаете, с 1924 года по 1944 год советским правительством рассматривался вопрос создания еврейской советской республики в Крыму. А это рядом. И, как вы знаете, только конфликт новообразованного Израиля с СССР поставил на этом проекте крест. А так все шло к тому, что в Крыму будет еврейская автономия или еврейская советская республика. В 2014 году мы с вами делали интервью, где тогда было сказано в интервью в 2014 году, что ни война на Донбассе, ни ситуация, которая началась на Украине в 2014 году, не закончится ни через 5, ни через 10 лет. А закончится она только через 15 лет. Тогда было сказано 5 лет гниения, разложения, осыпания, разрушения. А следующие 5 лет фрагментация и разломы. И следующие 5 новые центры сборки. Это то, что я вам тогда сказал. В 2014 году все говорили, что АТО закончится через 2 месяца, через 3, через 4, осенью, в следующем году, под Новый год. В 2015 году говорили то же самое, в 2016 говорили то же самое, в 2017 говорили то же самое. Минский процесс, вот так. Крым вернется в этом году или в следующем году. И вот все эти многочисленные прогнозы. Единственный, кто со мной достойно спорил, это один из человек, который практикует каббалу, и который оспорил мой прогноз каббалистическим прогнозом, что вот он в совершенстве знает каббалу, и с Украиной будет не 5 плюс 5 плюс 5, а 6 плюс 6 плюс 6. Но в любом случае мы выходим на 2029-31 год. А именно, для того, чтобы ВВП на Украине на душу населения стало соответствовать ВВП Швейцарии на душу населения, нужно депопулизировать население примерно в...
Now, isn't that interesting? Because he was saying the number 666, which is also the number of the devil anyway. but he was saying 666, his prediction. Okay, so starting from 2014 to 2020, it will be decay, crumbling, and so on. That was his prediction, right? 2020 until 2026, using this timeline. Okay, 2020 to 2026, there will be fragmentation and fractures. Okay, and come 2026 until 2032, a new assembly center, meaning that Jews will start migrating to southern Ukraine around this time. Okay, so I'm going to comment about that later, but I also want to talk a little bit about this guy Igor Berkut. Okay, I mean, like, this guy is very suspicious to begin with. Okay, his name Igor Berkut is actually not his real name. Okay, some sources says Berkut is a pseudonym. Okay, his name is Igor Vitalyevich Gecko. That is his real name. Okay. And by the way, this guy Igor, he has so many pseudonyms. Okay, the one I already found 4 different pseudonym. Okay, but this one is coming from the internet, so we can never know for sure. It could be just a rumor. Okay, and then what we know for a fact is that he was born in 1964 and he graduated from Moscow Higher Military Command School. Okay, and this Moscow Higher Military Command School has produced many top military personnel and also politicians. Okay, this guy also claimed he holds passport from 12 different countries. He received a grant to study finance in the US. This one is unverified, but there were rumors that he received a grant to study in the US. This is after the end of the Afghan war and after the fall of the Soviet Union. By the way, he was involved in the Afghan war, and I believe he became a general or commander or something. I'm not familiar with military and so on, but he did become a high-ranking official. Okay, and then he went to the US to study finance. Okay, but this is unverified. Okay, what is verified though is that he co-founded Texaca Bank in Kazakhstan, and he founded this bank with his brother. Wait, I have to double check. Now, he founded this bank with his brother Valery Gecko and also an American banker, okay, who previously lived in Texas. I'm not sure whether he is still alive or not, but his name is Gregory Knowles Truder. Okay, they founded this bank in Kazakhstan. Now, that is already kind of weird to me, because this guy, I mean, like, they opened this bank in 1993, and he allegedly went to the United States in 1991 to further his study. Okay, so I don't know how he got this connection to Gregory Knowles Truder in such a short time span as well. And if he went to study in the US in 1991, what was he doing opening business in Kazakhstan in 1993? I mean, it shows that you have a lack of experience in banking to begin with, for you to be able to co-found a bank in Kazakhstan. That's kind of weird, right? But anyway, the major shareholder is held by Gregory Knowles Truder. Okay, and both the brother Valery Gecko and also Igor Gecko or Igor Berkut, their share is around 10%. Okay, so they are a minor shareholder, which suggests to me that this guy Struder, probably he was using his money. Okay, but he was probably using Valery and also Igor's connection to the military in order to open this bank in Kazakhstan, It could be that because due to Igor Berkut high military rankings, he probably has a lot of connection with a lot of the previous Soviet countries, and Kazakhstan is included, okay? So it could be, okay? But I still find it weird, because why would you want to risk, if I put myself in Struder's shoe, why would I want to risk myself opening business, giving this guy 10% of my company's share when he has basically no experience in banking at all, right? Or if he does have prior experience in banking, it should be very limited. At most it will be 2 years. You really want to do business with somebody with only 2 years experience in banking? You really want to open a bank and partner with somebody who lacks experience in banking? Doesn't even make sense to me. But maybe this is normal practice. I don't know about banking business, okay? Also, Igor Berkut, he founded a small pro-Russian political party in Ukraine, by the way, called the Great Ukraine. He was accused of loan fraud, where he and his brother prepared fictitious documents for a loan in Metrobank. He also approved loans and transferred it to accounts controlled by the brothers. So this sounds like money laundering to me, okay? And there was an investigation. Russian government did interfere. I think they revoked the license of this bank. This is a different bank, by the way. They sold Tesaka Bank after 10 years or so, after more than a decade, and then they bought a new bank and so on. So this new bank was accused of loan fraud and prepared fictitious loan and so on. This sounds like money laundering to me, okay? And also, the Russian government actually revoked the license of this bank, and supposedly there is an ongoing investigation, but this bank was revoked back in 2020, by the way. So far, there has not been any convictions at all. There might be corruptions involved. I don't know. Okay. Also, Igor Berkut has been framed by Ukrainian media as possible Russian agent due to his pro-Russian stance and 12 passports, which is suspicious. It is suspicious to have 12 passports. Sounds like you are an agent. And all these businesses it's not even legit. You're probably just, again, this is opinion, okay? I'm not suggesting this is a fact at all, okay? Not at all, okay? This is just my opinion, okay? It could be that he is just being put there as a puppet, and he is actually running a secret intelligence business operations involving money laundering and so on. It could be, I have previously did a video on Elon Musk where I argue that I don't think he is an intelligent guy, and I don't think he ran his company at all. He was claiming that he ran 6 companies, and 3 of his companies are billion-dollar companies, by the way. Doesn't even make sense, okay? Where do you have the time, okay? No human on earth can run 3 billion-dollar companies, okay? And then he has baby dramas all over the place, baby mama dramas all over the place. He has how many kids? 13, 14 kids. And on top of that, he is the world #1 gamer for, what is that game? I forgot. I'm not a gamer, but I have read that in order for you to become a gamer, the world #1 gamer, you have to spend a lot of time, okay? So doesn't make sense. I feel like he is a CIA asset. That company was run by the government, probably CIA, using CIA technology. He was just there as a puppet, and it could be that this guy is probably being put as a puppet by the Russian. It could be that he is an agent, because also what I find suspicious about this guy is I have no results at all. every time I want to research about his family, other than his brother, I came to that end. Okay, I could not find who his ancestors are. I cannot find who his father, who his parents are, grandmothers, aunts, cousins. Okay, the only thing that I could find is 1 second. The only thing that I could find is that he was born and raised in a city or a town called Sievierodonetsk, and he went to a school which is called school number 10. Okay, currently the school is being used as a military station, but previously he went to that school. Okay, so I'm urging people, if you guys know who Igor Berkut is, I mean, like, know him on a personal level. If you are from Ukraine and you know him on a personal level, probably you went to school to him, probably you are a cousin, a friend, best friend, or whatever, and you have information about him, please do contact me. Okay, I am available on X or Twitter under the same name, Batman Podcast. You can find me there. Okay, so, or maybe you can leave a comment on the, if you want to remain anonymous, you can go to Batman Podcast. But if you don't mind about being public, then you can just leave a comment on the YouTube comment section. Okay, now enough about him, but I am going to do my best to find out who this guy is. Okay, so please, I'm begging everybody, if you have any information about him, contact me. Okay, but enough about him. Now there's a new recent development. Okay, recently I found an article, okay, in which BlackRock, or Larry Fink, the CEO, has what do we call, let me just read the article. Okay, I will provide you guys a screenshot of the article. 1 second. Okay, BlackRock Larry Fink joins Trump team to talks to rebuild Ukraine. Okay, so I'm going to read you guys just a little bit of it. I don't want to read too much because I'm afraid I might get strikes from YouTube. Okay, so BlackRock Inc. Chief Executive Larry Fink is back in the conversation about rebuilding Ukraine, this time with the Trump administration. Fink's role in talks on Ukraine's future became public on Wednesday when President Volodymyr Zelensky sent out a social media post saying he had joined Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Jared Kushner for discussion around rebuilding the country's economy. In fact, this could be considered the first meeting of the group that will work on a document concerning reconstruction and economic recovery of Ukraine. An image with the post showed Fink in a room with Kushner connecting to the conversation via a video. I mean, like, this is weird. Okay, why is this all happening at the same time as they are allowing Ukrainian men, especially the young men, to leave the country? Why are all of this thing happening all at once? Okay, and at the same time, what is Jared Kushner doing at the negotiation table? Who is he? He's not a government official, he's not a civil servant, so what is he doing at the negotiation table? I don't get it. He is just a senior advisor, and it is very unusual for senior advisor to be involved in negotiation table, especially considering this is a war conflict. Okay. Now, also do remember that Jared Kushner is also involved in the Israel-Palestinian peace talk. Again, what is he doing there? Okay, and the other person that was on the negotiation table, Steve Witkoff, he is actually a representative for the Middle East. But why is he doing negotiation talks with Ukraine? Ukraine is not in the Middle East. So what is going on? What am I trying to connect here? Okay, These two person, Jared Kushner and also Steve Witkoff, they both have connection in Israel and Ukraine right now. Okay, they're doing the peace negotiation. Or is it? Could it be that they're doing something else? Could it be that they are actually discussing about the transferring of the population of Israel into Ukraine? And that could explain why Colonel Douglas MacGregor was saying that there is a Jewish community in Ukraine right now. This is not verified, okay, what Colonel Douglas MacGregor is saying, okay. But if anybody lives in southern Ukraine who can vouch for this information, please come and talk to me, okay. Please contact me, okay. Okay, so yeah, could it be that actually they are facilitating this transfer? And remember what Igor Berkut was saying, 666, okay? Remember that the prediction started from 2014. So 666, which would mean that the migration would start around 2026, and we are just 2 weeks away from it. Not sounding good to me. And also Larry Fink has joined Trump team to build Ukraine all at the same time. So you guys see what I'm talking about. Jared and Steve, this is my suggestion, this is not a fact, okay? This is what I feel like is going on, just a feeling. Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff is facilitating the migration of Israelis into southern Ukraine. BlackRock is providing the financing to build the new Israel. You see where I'm going now? And also, we have to talk about Jared Kushner, okay? He is part of the Shabbat Lubavitch members, okay? And the Shabbat Lubavitch is a very extremist, in my opinion, okay? In my opinion, it's a very extremist Jewish group, okay? I mean, like, I can't remember, but the Rabbi Schneerson, they believe Rabbi Schneerson, who previously was the leader of the Shabbat Lubavitch movement. He was the leader of Shabbat Lubavitch movement. The current Shabbat Lubavitch member, they viewed Rabbi Schneerson as the Messiah, and they believe that this Rabbi Schneerson, he is going to be what do we call? Once you are dead, you will be not resuscitate, incarnate, no, not incarnate, resurrect. He is going to be resurrected at some point. Sounds extremist, right? I mean, like, not extremist, just by that you would think that these people are nuts. But anyway, I'm going to show you a video of this group, okay? One of them will be the, if you guys live in America, you probably are aware of this, about the Brooklyn Tunnel Jews, okay? So I'm going to show you that, and also I'm going to show you a video of Benjamin Netanyahu talking to this Rabbi Schneerson before he passed away. I believe this is in 1994 or 1993. I could be wrong, okay? And he was saying something very demonic. You guys should watch it, okay?
Worshipper emerging from a tunnel which later caused a riot at a synagogue in Brooklyn. A historic synagogue, the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in New York, was the stage of chaos between the NYPD and a group of Hasidic Jewish worshippers who had been found to have illegally dug tunnels. They claimed it was an expansion plan that was envisioned by the former head of the Chabad movement. It's believed they'd been excavating for nearly a year. A spokesperson for the movement described them as a group of extremist students. The synagogue then called in engineers to fill the tunnels with cement and close them off, which sparked this. They're believed to have been caught as word spread of the tunnel's existence around the community. 9 people were arrested by police and investigators are assessing the structural damage.
מה שרואה עוד, וגם משהו שעדיין משיח ליבו, אז הייתה משהו במה ידיעתו. הכנראה שהיא מספיק, כי היום כבר כמה שעות בגלל ועדיין ליבו, אבל יש עוד כמה שעות, אבל יש להשתדל גם היום.
No, the Brooklyn Tunnel Jews, there were rumors, not rumors actually, there were actual footages that police found mattresses with blood on it, okay? Now, I'm not saying this is for a fact, but do remember what I said, who Ashkenazi Jews really were, okay? Where they came from. They came from Ukraine, okay? Like what Igor Berkut was saying, okay? Who was their god before they converted to Judaism? Their god was Moloch, okay? This is rumors, okay? It's not confirmed, but I'm going to connect the dot on why I think that this is probably true, not just rumors, and probably the real history of the Khazarian people has been suppressed, okay? But their god was Moloch. They practiced human sacrifice, especially involving children, and you can see that they never really left their religion, okay? They say that they are Jews, but they probably, again, assumption, is a crypto Moloch worshipper, and they never really left their religion, okay? I mean, like, just connect the dots, okay? Throughout history, Europeans have these paintings about Jewish people sacrificing children, and also look at Epstein Island, okay? It's the same Ashkenazi people. Epstein Island has connection to Mossad, again the same Ashkenazi people. And now we see the NY Tunnel Jews, and they said they found blood in it on mattresses. They even found a baby, what do you call baby bed or something like that. I forgot what it is. Not stroller, baby bed, whatever. Okay. So anyway, and then remember the other video that I showed is Bibi Netanyahu talking to the rabbi, which I don't know, he's really creepy, okay? But anyway, my point is these people are very extremist, okay? So Jared Kushner joining this group, okay? Part of a member. And also Jared Kushner has an address in New York City, okay? He owned a building in New York City, okay? And the address of the city is 66, and you guess it right, 666 Fifth Avenue. He bought this building and he overpaid for it, okay, for $1.8 billion, okay? Just shows that he wanted it so badly. He wanted this building so badly, okay, that he overpaid it, okay? And you know, again, I've said it before, I feel like religion has been infiltrated by Satanists, but it is especially true for the Judaism religion, okay? Not all Jews, okay? Of course, there are many great Jews, okay? I don't have a problem with Torah-only Jews. I have problems with Talmudic Jews and, you know, the Book of Zohar and so on, Kabbalah and so on. I don't like them, okay? And also, I don't like this Shabbat Lubavitch group, okay? And the way that he wants this building so much that he is willing to pay it overpriced, because this building has a 666 address. Could it be that he is actually a Satan worshipper? Assumption, okay, not a fact. So don't come after me. Okay. And also what I have to add this part, okay. And at one point he was underwater, okay, because he bought this building using a mortgage loan, okay. And he was not at some point he was not able to pay it or something like that. I'm not sure, I have to double check, but I remember reading something about he was underwater or something like that, okay. So he could not keep up with the mortgage payment, so he asked for loans from the Qatari government, and the Qatari government refused to help him, okay. So in the end he went, I have to double check on this, okay, I don't want to say the wrong stuff. I think I did type it on Grok just now, let me just check. Yeah, okay, so this is the facts that Grok said, okay. The building became a massive financial albatross post 2008 crash with a 1.4 billion mortgage due in 2019. Kushner companies desperately sought foreign investors, for example, China's Anbang company, and also Qatar's sovereign wealth fund, okay. After Qatar reportedly declined direct investment, Jared Kushner, as White House advisors, allegedly supported the 2017 Saudi UAE-led blockade of Qatar. Interesting. Months later, Brookfield Properties, in which Qatar's fund was a major investor, bailed out the Kushner with a 99-year lease and 1.1 billion upfront payment, which also almost completely paid off the remainder of the mortgage. So this guy is corrupt to begin with, if the speculation is right again. And what is he doing in Ukraine? Okay, could it be that Trump put him there? You see, okay, Steve Witkoff, he is the negotiator, okay. He is the guy that is running all the operation, okay. Jared Kushner, he is the property investor. Larry Fink, he is the financial. Do you get all the connection right now? It's like a master plan, and at the same time they put the idiot puppet Zelensky, who is an idiot, okay. On his defense, I actually think he thought that the West really want to protect Ukraine, you know. I actually feel he genuinely want to defend Ukraine, but he's such an idiot. I mean, like, he's an actor, and I've saw footage of him acting in, I don't know, a music video or something like that where he was naked, and they put this guy as the president of Ukraine, you know. So he probably has no idea what is going on. So when the West said it's okay, you can open up the border and let Ukrainian young men to live, and now all this thing is happening at the same time, Ukraine is defenseless. Anyway, that's all I have for now. I really hope that someone could give me information about more information about Ego Barcode, okay. I want to do more research on him. I hope I can find a smoking gun at some point. And also, I just want to add, okay, not that I have anything against Eastern European people, Russian people, and also Central Asian people, okay, but I don't know why, ever since my mom told me stories about Central Asia and Eastern Europe and so on, and she showed me the map. I also saw TV shows about Central Asia and Eastern Europe at some point, okay. I don't know why, but in my mind I feel like they are really like a mysterious, mystical place, you know. I don't know why. I always feel like it looks like there's a negative energy coming from that. It is just me, okay, it's just my feeling. I'm sure there are lots of good people in Eastern Europe and nice people in Eastern Europe and also Central Asia, okay, I'm sure, okay. but I don't know why, I just feel like spiritually the vibe ain't vibing for me, okay, with Eastern European countries and Central Asia. To be fair though, they have such beautiful landscape, okay, over there. So I'm not trying to say that I have something against Eastern European, Central Asian people. It's just that it's just a vibe, okay. I feel like the end of time is going to have, that place is going to play a huge role during the end times prophecies, okay. This is of course coming from a Muslim, you know. So if you guys don't believe in Abrahamic religion, not really Abrahamic religion, because Jews don't believe in Antichrist, right? I don't know why, I always felt like Antichrist is going to appear in someone in that area, okay. That's just my feeling. But anyway, if you like this type of content, kindly subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, kindly like my video, and also please leave some comment, okay. Until we see again, bye bye.